Hey guys, you're tuning into the Mina B Podcast. It's your girl Mina B, and I am back with yet another fun-filled episode. So, where to find me? At the Mina B Podcast over on IG. Be sure to click the link in my bio for your subscription and listening platform pleasure. We are streaming from iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and of course, YouTube for the folks that are watching from home. Be sure to hit that subscribe button over there. And also, if you guys fuck with the show and you've been listening on Apple Podcasts, be sure to rate and review the show. Let me know what you're thinking. Slide in my DMs. Let's have a conversation. You know, it's very much so warranted around these parts. So you guys have me solo dolo today, no guest, but I had a couple of things, a blanket topic that I wanted to just touch base on, with you guys. So yeah, today has been super gloomy. It's been a busy week for me, and it's only Monday. And of course, when this airs, it'll be Tuesday as our regularly scheduled programming progresses. But yeah, it's just been a lot going on, but you know what, we make it work, and that's just that on that. So stay tuned. But yes, guys, I wanted to touch base with you guys about marriage. Right, single girl blues over here talking about marriage, But I've been just listening to a couple of things on IG, on Instagram, Twitter, just the whole social media platforms. It's just always the topic of marriage, Black love. We see a lot of weddings. We see a lot of proposals. We see a lot of baby showers and lack of weddings, but I digress. We do see a good amount of that. And also just the idea that Black women, our hopes for marriage in this day and age are just we should just get over the notion. We should just, not want marriage or not want our men to settle down with us. As if it's okay for us to just go it alone, which historically we have been going it alone. Let's be crystal clear about that. Statistically. And also the notion, is it beneficial for a Black woman to be married in this day and age? And I'm like, bruh, that's it's a valid question, but it's just why are we even discussing this? Why do we always have to go around in a circle? What other race, what other culture do you see them questioning the validity of us wanting marriage, wanting to be married? Marriage is actually natural for other cultures. It's just what you do. So for us, we've gone through so much, and just to see Black love resurfacing in so many ways. And I know I've said it in the past about, and that's me being bitter. I've definitely said that Black love is dead to certain degrees, because sometimes, and I say sometimes, very, very much so, sometimes the things that we see on social media is cap. Okay? It's bullshit. There's a lot of people that's posting their love life, their this, their that, and their fucking shit is in shambles. Let's be crystal clear about that and put that in a box to the right. You know what I'm saying? But as I've gotten older, as I've worked on myself and thought about the things that I wanted and thought about the examples of love and examples of marriage that I have seen and the lack thereof, I've come around kind of full circle to where I want to be in life, where I want to be, whether married or in a long-term relationship. So we can't get into this topic completely without doing our due diligence and doing justice to just historical facts, okay? So there's a saying and a statement that, we have to deal with being Black and being a woman. And y'all know I'm going to drag this topic as long as I possibly can. Being Black and being a woman in America. Not fun, not easy, okay? And the whole idea of misogynoir ties in gravely with us. And misogynoir, for those who don't know what it is, misogynoir is directed towards Black women, and it's basically where race and gender plays in the roles as a bias, okay? That is something that we have to deal with consistently and constantly. And not only are we dealing with it in society, in the workforce, we're also dealing with it now, even more than ever, unfortunately, with our Black men. hence the Kevin Samuels, hence, all these memes and the bullshit. Like, it's happening, okay, y'all? Period, point blank. So we have these systemic disparities that have affected us since we've been placed on American soil. I mean, the marital factors that Black women face, it's just kind of difficult to grapple with when we really sit down and look at it. Like, the Black man has been taken out of the home, and that's been something that's been going on forever and a day. And then you get into the generations of the late 70s, 80s, 90s, even to today, where, male incarceration numbers are super high. Black male incarceration numbers are super high. And then you have the Black woman who, again, is getting the degrees, busting their ass. We are in the most debt because of our student loan debt. Our salaries, in some instances, not all, in some instances, in some, how would you say, in some areas of just, I guess, where you work, how you work, or just the industry itself, are marginally higher, because we're climbing up those ladders a lot faster because of the education, because of said degrees, because of, being on the job long-term, etc. And, I was talking to a girlfriend, and I talked to a couple of friends about this over the weekend, and me and my homegirl were talking about it, and she said, you know what? The thing about marriage is that marriage is such a big deal in the South, whereas in the North, it wasn't that deep for us. And I was just like, you know what? You're kind of right about that. Like, I do see a lot more married couples and a lot more coupling as a whole down South, especially in Atlanta. Like, I see a lot of couples all the time. And, it's kind of funny that we see a lot of couples all the time, but they're like, oh, there's not enough men. There's the numbers between men and the ratio of women. It's just not, it doesn't add up. It's always more men to women, blah, blah, blah. But there are a substantial amount of couples that are married that I see out in East Atlanta streets. So it is what it is. But I also think and we were talking about it, and we were like, up north, like, I'm talking about DMV, New York, Jersey, Connecticut, whoop-de-woo. I felt as though, and being a New Yorker, I felt as though like we were so strongly independent. And I think it's because we had no choice but to be, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. I just feel like we go hard for our degrees. We go hard for these jobs. Like, I've had a job since I was 14 years old. Like, without a question, the minute I knew I could get papers to work, to make my own money outside of my parents, I ran to do that. We're just a lot more independent, in my opinion. And me and my girlfriend, she says to me, she's like, but Southern women, they're kept. And I had to say that I feel like in more modern times, Southern women are, of course, just like everybody else, getting their degrees, busting their asses to climb up the corporate ladder, build their businesses, build their brands up in more modern times. But we can't talk about that without talking about the Southern norm that historically happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't not touch on that. So, due to history, once released from slavery, right, unto their husbands, women were bound by marital contract. And that's that concept of marriage being a contract. I think that's where that comes from. It stems from that. The marital contract, it being binding, it holding you back, holding you down, whoop-de-woo. So, yes, there was a marital contract for freed women given to their husbands at that point to be their providers, their overseers, that type of thing. And it's very much so the notion of lock and key, for sure. But from an article in the Washington Post titled in 2019, it's called 2019 Marked 400 Years of Forbidden Black Love in America. And the excerpt that I read that stood out to me, I read it over 2 times because I was like, wait, what? It kind of had me floored. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it for you guys. So it says, during the earliest decades of freedom from bondage, Southern Black women confronting the patriarchal intersection of agricultural labor laws, labor contracts, and marital contracts recognized immediately how personal liberties they expected to enjoy as freed women were slipping away from them under legal parameters they had never known in slavery. Adding to this injury, marriage rights and privileges did little to protect Black widows of Civil War veterans against federal, state, and municipal powers that frequently denied them spousal pension benefits. And this pattern of denial persisted throughout and beyond the Civil Rights Movement. Black couples did not fare much better under government regulations in the latter 20th century. Personal testimonies from Black women and children whose lives were touched by federal and state welfare programs, especially during the 1960s, indicate that Black love and marriage were adversely affected by callous men in the house, suitable home, and substitute father policies that played into racist tropes, emphasizing Black women's presumed propensity towards promiscuity, deceitfulness, and inept mothering. I'm gonna just stop there. So this is the tea, and this is the breakdown. So y'all, with this whole system from slavery all the way into the 60s and 70s, we've gone through being kept to, these acts, and this act in particular, I had just bookmarked it real quick. It's called the Men in the House, Race, Welfare, and Regulation of Men's Sexuality in the United States, 1961 to 1972. It's an article, actually. And it just kind of breaks down the reasoning. And this started in the South. And it just kind of broke down the reasoning on why welfare had started in certain, not why welfare started. Let me clarify. Why welfare had certain standards, because they thought that women who were dating or not married, dating or had boyfriends or were or their husbands, it could have went both ways, boyfriend or husband, would be living off of their welfare, the welfare that was provided by the state due to low income or whatever, based on their income, and low income homes and all of that stuff ties into it, and basically saying that the Black man was living off of them. And I think this is just another way for the Black man to be diminished, be turned into to crime and to trying to provide for himself and all of that, just so that incarceration can happen, so that they can be redirected out of society. So it's those factors and those things that kind of throws off a lot of, what we're dealing with right now in 2021, in the topics and the conversations that we're having. And it saddened me reading that, because I was like, damn, that makes a lot of sense. So not to say, to get back to, the northern independence versus the southern non-independence, so to speak. It's kind of a thing where Southern women, some of them are okay with, being kept. Shit, I'm a girl from New York. I wouldn't mind being a housewife, dude. God damn it, I'm tired of working. I'm tired. But regardless of which, that's kind of where it stemmed from, because it kind of was programmed into men's minds, Black or white, and at that point, to, provide for their families, provide for the home, and just kind of like, especially, and I want to say in middle class, working family, in communities, that's what was normal. Not to say it wasn't normal in the North, but this is something that was customary, and this happened from their free days up until. So there's something to be said about the Southern gentleman, because sometimes I see a little bit of a difference in a Southern man versus a man from up North, a little bit more of a gentlemanly acumen, so to speak, on how they carry themselves, how they speak to you, how they treat you. A gentleman is a gentleman all across the board, but regionally, I definitely have seen some differences, and I think all of that kind of stems from these historical facts. So I saw something that was really interesting on IG by Tokyo Vanity, who is a social media star. She's been on, not Real Housewives, she's been on Love and Hip Hop and a couple of other shows. I believe she's an artist as well. But she was in a Clubhouse room not too long ago and was talking about marriage and how she felt about being married and they straight up attacked her. So she took to her Instagram and shared her opinion on marriage being more than just a piece of paper. So I'll read a little excerpt of it. She says, I can't stand that saying if you're broke, I can't stand that saying, if you're broken, say that. If you've never seen a successful marriage, then say that. If you don't like committing, then say that. If you were raised by a bitter woman who told you that niggas ain't shit, then say that. If your father was a Rolling Stone and put a negative outlook on women or commitment, then say that. If you need counseling but refuse because that's some white people shit, that's what she said, her words, not mine, or you're scared that people are going to think that you're crazy, then say that. Don't make me feel crazy for still being traditional or wanting to bring my child into the world after a man marries me. So I'll stop there. So basically, she was saying that she wouldn't want to have children unless she was in a marriage. And I'm for all of it. I honestly subscribe to the idea as a 30-something woman that I want to be married in order to have children. I feel like that's something that's very important to me, or in a long-term relationship. I ain't talking about no year. I ain't talking about no 6 months. You know, for the people that can do that and that happens and it works out, fabulous, wonderful, kudos to y'all. But, you know, I think those things take time, and I'm very traditional in that manner. Like, I feel like we got to be in it for the long haul. This ain't about to be no, you know, wham, ma'am, thank you, man, and we co-parenting, you know. I hear all the time, oh, you can co-parent, you'll be fine. I know you want to have children. You can co-parent, it's cool. No, the fuck it's not. Not for me. What y'all do and how y'all handle shit, fine. It's not for everybody. Just like marriage isn't for everybody. But to sit here and to attack this girl and tell her that she's wrong for wanting what she wants, it's foul. And everything that she said was true. A lot of us are scorned. A lot of us have been hurt. A lot of us are still going through the things where we're like, damn, maybe I can find true love, or I don't deserve it, because we're not doing the work on ourselves. This is something that I constantly say on the show. We're not doing the work on ourselves. Period. So another, I'm not sure if it was in response to this, but another dating expert on, Christian dating expert, and I guess what else is her title? Relationship coach, rather. Sorry. Her name is Aligned with Allison on IG. She had posted something that was very interesting to me, and I'm gonna play it for you guys really quickly. And it kind of struck a nerve. That struck a nerve with me as well. I was like, ding, 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 ding. She's right. So let me play it for y'all real quick. Shout out to her for putting out the facts just for what it is.
It's just a piece of paper. Well, if that's the case, may I have your deed? Can I have your degree? Can I have the registration for your car? Can I have your winning lottery ticket? Matter of fact, can I have $100? I'm confident the answer is no, because we all have an understanding that pieces of paper are symbolic and have value if we assign it to it, right? So please, let's stop spreading falsities about marriage just being a piece of paper. If you don't want to be married, you can't find somebody to marry you, then say that. Marriage is just a piece of paper.
So yeah, y'all get the gist of this. And honestly, they not wrong. It's amazing to me that we're sitting here, you know, not still having this argument, but having this argument just in our circles, because it's like, why should we not want to break generational curses? Why should we not want to push forward for the things that matter to us? I'm sorry. Why not? Why not? Why can't I have my fairy tale? Why can't Susan have her fairy tale? Why can't Keisha have her fairy tale? Like, you know, and I'm going to sound real ratchet for saying this, but so it's okay for white girls to get married at 25 and be happy and have their babies and live their best life. But for black women, we got to struggle. We got to constantly struggle, constantly fight, be a baby mama, not have a man living in our home, bust our asses to raise children, build business, keep a job, get a master's degree so we can excel or bump up extra in our pay. Shouldn't we just want to do that just for ourselves alone, just to have the accolades? Not saying that we're not doing that, because some of us are just doing it for our own acumen, for our own accolades, for our own notches under our belts. Like, yeah, I could do this. I could get that PhD. I could go get that master's. I could build that business. I could open multiple businesses. But some of us, some women, some black women do not have a choice. They don't have a choice. They have to bust their asses because they have a child to feed. They have a roof that they have to pay for, and they don't have the help. They don't have the man in their lives to do that. Because systemically, this has become a norm. It has become just okay. And Mina B ain't okay with it, baby. I'm not okay with it. So I digress. So when you think about marriage, right? Think about the ring. A lot of girls think about the ring. They think about the glitter, the glam. You know, I need that ring. And the thing about marriage, and I'm going to get into something a little slightly spiritual about with y'all. Consummation, the act within itself, okay? The act within itself. Because you have to, in order for a marriage in olden times, in order for a marriage to, be what it was, you had to consummate the marriage, right? So that's the whole idea that waiting before marriage comes from, right? Because you have to consummate the marriage. You have to have sex. That is what you're there to do, to procreate. That was the origin of marriage, right? And the penetration act within itself is symbolic. It's symbolic of the ring. It's symbolic of the ring on the finger. All of that ties in together, whether y'all realize it or not. And hence what the fakery is within the church when they bring up soul ties, because fun facts, if you didn't know, soul ties are not anywhere in the Bible at all. But I will say this, it does hold a little validity because of the whole consummate act. The whole act of, why you think we be stressed out when we been fucking with a nigga for X, Y, Z months, years, whatever, and there's no marriage, but we're playing house. We're being fake wifed up, and we're doing things together, and he's cheating on you, or he turned around and had a baby on you. Why does that hurt so much? Why can't we get over it? Women, girls, we know what the fuck time it is. Why does it hurt a man so much? When not only did her mind leave the relationship because maybe he was doing shit, or maybe not, whoever, whatever, some women are trifling, and she has sex with another man. Why does it hurt a man so much? Because that intimacy, that's the sexual act, the consummation act within itself, and the energy that's exchanged within that act, okay, it really drives a force. And this is where passion crimes happen, motherfucker. This is where passion crimes happen. He might kill your ass because you uncheated on him. Or maybe a scorned man knowing that in his mind, you were the only one, or, for him. And in all actuality, you were not. You know what I'm saying? So all of that ties in, very much so. This is why sex is sacred. Regardless of what we think and regardless of what we're doing as grown-ups, it is a sacred act. And, we've kind of diminished that over the years, but that's another episode for a topic for another episode, another day. Okay, I digress. So we have to stop letting people project their trauma and insecurities over our lives, over our relationships via social media. That shit has to stop. We got to stop doing it to our friends. We got to stop cutting ass on your friends. Stop cutting ass on a person that really wants that for her life or his life. You know what I'm saying? The notion that marriage does not benefit a black woman, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I saw that and it pissed me off a little bit because it was just like, okay, because of the incarceration numbers. Okay, really? Cut it out. I can't subscribe to that. It's gonna benefit you based on what you value and based on what you want for your life, whether it be deemed realistic or not. You know what I'm saying? Love is great. Love is a major part of it. But if we all just married for love, just for love, we'd all be married. Nigga, I've been married 10 times over, okay? I'd be married right now. My husband would be sitting right here. Hey, boo. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Period. That's just what it is. Congratulations. If you can and have married purely for love, purely for the love at first sight, purely for, that was it. I met him. I met her. We fell in love. We built, and that was it. It worked out off of the strength of that. Congratulations. If that can happen, kudos to y'all, okay? I really mean that. But ladies, we also have to stop falling in love with potential. Trying to see the potential growth within somebody who is showing you, and I'm always going to derail the conversation to the left on this, because we got to stop just wanting someone to be in our bed, wanting someone to be in our lives when we see that there are red flags, when we see that there are things that he is not doing that is making you upset, that's making you unhappy, but you're just trying to hold it down because you are pressed to keep a man, pressed to have someone, pressed to show that you can keep a relationship. It's not up to you to keep a relationship. It's not. A relationship works with two people. Y'all both have to want it. Y'all both have to be in it. Okay? And, I'm kind of tired of us falling in love with potential. Okay? We have to, it's hard, it's so difficult, but we have got to take the potential out of it. Like, there's things about him that you don't like, but he got potential because he has a good job, or he has a this and he has a that. Fuck that. If there's something that you don't like, and it's not necessarily something that can be discussed with this man, it's a character flaw, whatever it is, it can't be changed, it can't be fixed. This is who the motherfucker is, and he's showing you. Exit stage left, please. And that's just that. So, and I know when we're talking about marriage, from the girl that's not married, but I'm sorry, I have to bring it up. I have to bring it up because I've seen it in my family. I've seen it with my parents. I've seen it with friends. Marriage is a business. You have to be conscious of this. It is a business. It is a business built on values. It's built on finance. It's built on, a lot of things. So I'm going to list those things. Values. What does this person value? You got to know. Do y'all value the same things? Do y'all value the same things? Like, something to really, really consider when thinking about taking that next step, or, going the distance in your relationship, or even in just dating for a couple of months. Does this MF value the same things that I value? Or are we just coasting? Also, is he is he an atheist, and you're a Christian? Like, you guys, like, I'm not kidding around, y'all. This shit is serious. But that's just an example. So, also, are y'all even somewhat sexually compatible? Because I'm like, I don't know. I've been hearing girls talk about they laid up with somebody that ain't really, holding it down, but he provides. And I'm just like, damn. But you're not like, so there was no chemistry, there was no sparklers, there were no, like, you got to have a little bit of everything. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but just a little bit of something. Y'all sexual compatibility, you just laying there? No, ma'am, Pam. Couldn't be me. I need butterflies. I need to feel the tingly in. Yeah, the days for dating and trying to build relationships with motherfuckers that you don't really like, or you don't really, feel like, and you're just trying to do it just to do it. Y'all gotta stop that too. Gotta stop that too. Yeah, gotta stop that too. I am okay with a man liking me more, but I gotta like him too. Period. Also, do y'all, in talking about liking, do you really like each other? Would y'all be friends? This is the better question. Would y'all be friends if y'all were not fucking or not in a relationship? Because if y'all taking that into a marriage and y'all can't be friends, that's problematic. I've legit had a married man who I dated ages ago say, oh, but we were friends. Why is your wife not friends? Don't call my motherfucking phone. Don't call my phone. Call your wife. Have these conversations with your wife. Build that friendship with your wife that you clearly didn't foundationally build with her from the jump. You're going to have to learn how to be friends with her now, because y'all in it. Y'all in it for the long haul. Okay? Period. Y'all not friends? Y'all haven't built this friendship, this bond? That's something, we ain't besties. We can't sit down and split like a 12-piece together. Baby, we can't be together. And that's just that on that, okay? Was he raised on love or survival. That's a big deal. That's huge. Because a motherfucker that don't know how to love, from a humanistic side of love on the inside, never was showed love, so don't know how to show it to you, good luck. How does he or she relate to his parents or who raised him? How was he brought up? That's important, because that also ties into those values that, are going to be important in your relationship. Do y'all value the same things? Truthfully, it's all the same. And also, don't get me wrong, all families, especially black families, baby, we don't like our cousin Keisha, but we love our cousin Pam, and we love our cousin Richard, but we don't like cousin, and the auntie that we don't like, but the auntie that we love. Like, we all have drama in our families, okay? Like, it is what it is. But that core unit, whether it's a single parent home or whatever the case may be, siblings, that is very important to know about your spouse and know about the person that you're about to marry in a long-term relationship with. That ties in a lot. And how he responds to family, or, even how he is with his friends, like the closest people to him. That is so key to know and to note. How he treats his mama, grandmama, or the women in his life. Take note, ladies, take note. If you're not meeting family members, if he's clinged up on you and don't got nobody around him. All right. And there's a lot of different things that could happen. That's why he may be alone or to himself. But again, we got to do that digging. We got to do those peeling back of the layers when we're building these bonds and relationships, because this is why the divorce rate is how it is, because we're not doing the work, because we want to just take Instagram photos and make it look good. I said what I said. Also, in the finance aspect, how much does your partner make? Do you make more? Does he make more? And what is the current situation? How is it going to help or not help the family dynamic if you guys choose within that partnership to procreate, to have kids? That plays a part. Two folks struggling together, that ain't it. Not in 2021. And that's just how I feel about that. So I'm going to say something fucked up, but it's not really fucked up because it's just like how I talk about shit. But I'm going to sip before I do that. So hold on. And yes, I'm drinking alcohol in my teacup. Y'all mind y'all business. Don't judge me. Because I like my little pink teacup. It's cute. Anyway, though, we also have to stop listening to the certain black men on Instagram and hoteps. We gotta stop listening to them. I'm sorry, ladies, these men on these platforms, we gotta stop listening to them telling you how you need to be, how you need to act, how you need to dress, how much money you need to make, how you need to lessen yourself to get and keep a man. Y'all sitting here letting these men tell you why you're not married. There's some points and facts that all across the board go for everybody. Men and black women. But we gotta stop giving these motherfuckers light. Instead, I challenge the brothers to have an open dialogue and to do some serious research as to why we as a collective are here still in this muddy mess of non-marital bliss, and why our progression is slow AF. I challenge y'all. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. So, I'm going to tie up this episode because I think I said a lot. Here's a couple of pointers. It is okay to want your person, okay? We humanistically deserve our person. There is somebody for everybody. So letting certain men on Instagram tell you that you don't deserve this type of person, this type of that, stop it. You deserve love. You deserve to be held to a standard, respected, and treated like a human above all things. Period. It is okay to want to spend on a wedding and still have your fairy tale wedding, whatever that may be. It is okay. Do not let your friends and your family tell you that you can't get married this way and this is stupid, and whatever it is that you desire, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. That is between you and your spouse, you and your boyfriend, your husband, fiance. That is for y'all to discuss and y'all to figure out going forward. It is okay to not want that. It's okay to want a long-term relationship. And it's okay to not want to get married, but you want to have your person. That is okay too. We gotta respect that as well. Black love is possible. And I've had to eat my words on that because it was coming from a bitter place. Black love is possible and it does happen. Don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out because of statistics. Don't count yourself out because of IG. Don't count yourself out. There's a lot of dating apps. Figure it out. Match.com. I don't know. Do what y'all do. It's okay. We have to stop letting society and social media tell you what to do and tell you what you can and cannot have. What is yours is going to be ordained over you and your life. And that's just that on that. There's no question on that. What is meant for you is for you. So y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up. I think I said a lot. I said a lot. And I guess just for myself, I'm okay with getting married, but I'm also okay with not having a fairy tale wedding. I'm not huge on that. I would like to go to the justice of the peace. So just for my future husband to know that, I want us to be financially sound. So a big wedding is not a big deal, but if money is not really an issue, which in my life, I don't feel it will be. And just culturally, depending on what his family likes. And I'm pretty sure my family wants a big wedding. I just don't want to plan it. I'm not interested. I want somebody to do it for me. Yeah, I'll be okay with a fairy tale wedding, but I would also be okay with a fairy tale fucking traveling for a month after we go to the justice of the peace and hitting all these countries, post-COVID and all. Yep. I'm gonna speak affirmations over my life, okay? Affirmations, honey, affirmations. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want in life. I came pretty far without having a baby, and I'm okay with it. Yeah, that's just that on that. If I have kids, that'd be wonderful. If I don't, I'm okay with that as well, because what is ordained for me is ordained for me. It's meant for me. It is life's path, God's path for Mina. So everyone's entitled to that same path that is ordained for them. And I'm going to continue to say that. That is going to be the same. What is ordained for you is for you. Period. So y'all, if you fuck with the show, make sure to rate and subscribe. Also review. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube as well for questions, inquiries. You want to chat, you want to talk to me, you want to throw some ideas my way for advice. It's askminaB@gmail.com. So yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up and sip the rest of my drink, and y'all have a wonderful remainder of your week. I'll be back with some heat this month of May, and yeah, y'all stay tuned. All right, so y'all on the other side. Bye.